Tonight on Y News, processed meat products test positive for African swine fever virus. Vice President Leni Robredo renews her call to President Rodrigo Duterte to stop the war on drugs. President Rodrigo Duterte is now feeling much better after experiencing pain in his lower back, according to Malacanang. An explosion struck outside the house of Sulu Mayor Asri Taib in Zamboanga City. And Manila Mayor Isco Moreno donates new health centers and machines to Manileños on his 45th birthday. Good evening. The Department of Trade and Industry appeals to pork retailers not to sell pork beyond the price range set. Meanwhile, more than 100 kilos of chicken meat was confiscated from a vendor in Pretil Market, Tondo, Manila. Asher Cadapan Jr. reports why.
Department of Trade and Industry or DTI Undersecretary Ruth Costello was disappointed when she personally headed the inspection in Pretil Market in Tondo, Manila this morning. Costello found out the price of pork sold by retailers in this market is way beyond the price range they expect. According to DTI, the farm gate price of pork is 95 pesos per kilogram, but middlemen sell it to retailers at around 140 pesos per kilo.
Hindi rin nakakatuwa na masyado silang nagsasamantala sa consumers dahil ang effect niyan in the long run nasa consumers pa din.
Tina Mayer, a retailer in Pretil Market, explained they are trying to recover from big losses in the previous months due to the African swine fever issue. She added it's hard to sell pork nowadays.
Hindi naman totally namin masyadong tinataasan. So kung may tatawad naman po, nagbibigay naman din po kami. Pero as much as possible, di ba po, para makabawi lang kami sa lugi namin.
Consumers in Pretil, however, have no complaints about pork price.
Okay na namin. Tama lang sa timbang saka sa presyo.
Kasi tumanda na ako dito sa Pretil eh. Talagang tama yung timbang nila tsaka yung mga presyo. Tsaka mga sariwa lahat.
Meanwhile, the National Meat Inspection Service or NMIS confiscated about 120 kilos of poultry meat from a retailer in Pretil Market. NMIS personnel saw the meat not preserved in chiller, which may cause contamination. The retailer also failed to present an NMIS certificate. The DTI and the NMIS will report the result of their inspection in Pretil Market for the Department of Agriculture's corresponding action. Asher Cadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue, City of Manila.
Various processed meat products have tested positive for African swine fever, just as the government ordered the lifting of the ban on the transport and entry of such commodities to the Visayas and Mindanao. In a clinical laboratory report dated October 15, the Bureau of Animal Industry confirmed that 3 meat samples have been detected with the ASF viral DNA using the real-time polymerase chain reaction test. The products were Hotdog, longganisa, and tocino. The report, however, did not show a specific brand or where they came from. Agriculture Group Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura or SINAG claimed that the products are most likely imported, maintaining that processed meat products are never actually tested for ASF. PAMPI, on the other hand, expressed concern over the report, saying it may have been orchestrated to make the industry look worse. The National Water Resources Board prepares to make water supply in Metro Manila and nearby provinces available until the next dry season. The board will also launch a campaign for responsible water use. Ray Pelayo explains why.
Based on the data from the National Water Resources Board or NWRB, every individual in Metro Manila uses around 120 liters every day. The agency says consumers can contribute a lot to save water. Some of the ways include recycling water, using rain, or scheduling a laundry day. The NWRB stressed they can conduct cloud seeding operation, but that can contribute only a small amount to increase Angat Dam's water level, unlike natural rainfall. The board will also launch a campaign to promote responsible water use. At 6 a.m. today, the water level of Angat Dam, which supplies water to Metro Manila and nearby provinces, was 185.87 meters. That's less than 6 meters before reaching its minimum operating level of 180 meters.
In order to manage yung supply ngayon, just in case na hindi ganun ka-favorable yung mga rainfall na darating sa Angat watershed, at particularly kung hindi abot dun sa 212 level na target natin by the end of the year.
The NWRB say they have opted to reduce allocation from Angat Dam to keep it from running out of water. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA say they are expecting rainfall in Angat before the end of the year.
Based on average, pagpasok ng November, may mga 2 bagyo tayong inaasahan dyan.
Of the 17 tropical cyclones that have so far entered the Philippine area of responsibility, only 5 brought rainfall in the country. The public is encouraged to do their part in saving water. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Vice President Leni Robredo renews her call to President Rodrigo Duterte to stop his signature policy against illegal drugs, which, according to her, is not working. Nina Armilio reports why.
President Rodrigo Duterte should allow the United Nations to investigate his war on drugs and abandon a deadly campaign that has been a failure and a dent in the country's international image, Vice President Leni Robredo said Wednesday. The crackdown has overwhelmingly targeted the poor rather than big drugs networks, Robredo said in an interview. She added that President Duterte's violent rhetoric is aiding a culture of police impunity, for which international help should be sought if the government refuses to change course. Robredo said that thousands of people killed are already too many, but there's no evidence of a decline in drug supply or use.
Why is this still happening? The president has already made very serious threats to drug syndicates, to drug lords, to drug users, and yet it's still very prevalent. So obviously it's not working. We have seen a lot of members of the police who have abused their powers and have not been penalized. So this is where the International Criminal Court should come in. If we do not show the world that we can take care of our own.
The government reject activists' allegations that drug dealers and users are being executed and say the more than 7,000 people killed by police had all resisted arrest. Robredo, 54, is among the more than 30 critics of Duterte who are facing possible sedition charges, which she describes as baseless and mere attempts of the president's allies to crush dissent and create a climate of fear and authoritarianism not seen since the era of late former Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos. The vice president said she will not be drawn on whether the legal moves were designed to remove her from the line of succession amid growing concern about the health of Duterte, 74, who on Tuesday cut short a trip to Japan due to unbearable pain in his back.
It would be beneficial, not just to the public but to the president as well, to be very transparent as far as his health is concerned. Because the danger that the speculations will be worse than what it really is there.
President Duterte has earlier revealed he has a rare neuromuscular disorder on top of other ailments including Barrett's esophagus, Buerger's disease, and frequent migraines. Nina Armilio, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
President Rodrigo Duterte feels better now than how he felt last Tuesday, according to Malacanang. Meanwhile, the palace denies that President Duterte's delegation in Japan was snubbed. Rosalie Cos details why.
Malacanang confirms President Rodrigo Duterte underwent magnetic resonance imaging or MRI and medical consultation yesterday. The doctor advised the chief executive to rest for a few days and limit his physical activities like standing and walking for a long time. The palace says the president is feeling much better now. Presidential spokesperson and Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Secretary Salvador Panelo says the president was diagnosed to have muscle spasms causing the unbearable pain at his pelvic area and spinal column. The doctor also said that the recent minor motorcycle mishap involving the president might have aggravated the spinal injury he has incurred from a past motorcycle accident. However, the president's doctor ruled out any surgical procedure for the president. President Duterte pushed through with his schedule, including meeting Chinese Vice Premier Hu Chunhua on infrastructure projects in the country funded by China. Although the president has a somewhat impaired physical profile, Malacanang insists the chief executive will continue to perform his duties, which include attending local and foreign engagements in the coming days. Meanwhile, Secretary Panelo and the Department of Foreign Affairs denied the report that the delegation of President Duterte was snubbed during the enthronement ceremony in Japan, which was allegedly the reason for a trip cut short. This social media post says the president was snubbed for not signifying he would attend the enthronement rites of Emperor Naruhito when invitations were first sent out. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
President Rodrigo Duterte plans to take a one-week rest after the 35th Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN Summit in Bangkok, Thailand, according to Senator Bongo. The ASEAN Summit happens on November 2 to 4. The former top aide clarifies the president will not file a leave of absence but instead will continue his paperwork. The president is also expected to participate in the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC Leaders Summit in Santiago, Chile from November 16 to 17.
1 week po ang gustong pahinga ng ating mahal na Pangulo para naman po gumaling yung sakit na nararamdaman niya sa likod niya po dahil sa pagkadisgrasya sa motor.
Ano siya magpapahinga sir? Magbabakasyon ba?
Davao lang po sa bahay niya, doon sa maliit na bahay niya. Mas nakakapahinga po siya doon.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up to where Angelo Castro III left off. I'm Alex Baltazar, and here are the headlines. An explosion struck outside the house of Sulu Mayor Asri Daib in Zamboanga City. 16 NCRPO cops now under investigation for allegedly smuggling gadgets, cigarettes, and liquor in the New Bilibid prison. A Solon asks the National Bureau of Investigation for protection of Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong and PIDEA Chief Aaron Aquino. The Philippine National Police favors the implementation of total firecracker ban in the country. And Manila Mayor Isco Moreno donates new health centers and machines to Manileños on his 45th birthday. Good evening. An explosion rocked a barangay in Zamboanga City this morning. Authorities clarify, however, the incident is not an act of terrorism. Dante Amendo tells us why.
Residents in Bienvenido Drive, Barangay Canelar, Zamboanga City were shocked when an explosion occurred at around 4 this morning. The incident happened in front of the house of Pangutaran Sulu Mayor Asri Taib. No one was hurt in the incident. Authorities clarified the incident is not a terrorist attack but an isolated case.
We are sure that the motive has nothing to do with terrorism. It may be personal or political. Mainit kasi yung mga politics ng Pangutaran.
In March 2016, the Pangutaran mayor was shot dead after filing his certificate of candidacy. But former Pangutaran Mayor Amil Hamja Taib, Mayor Asri's father, denies having enemies.
Wala naman. Laban dito sa Zamboanga.
Opo, sir.
Kasi yung kalaban sa politiko, ngayon after na, tapos na, di ba?
Authorities are still validating the type of bomb used, the motive of the bombing, and which group is responsible for the unlawful act. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue, Zamboanga City.
Fire broke out in the densely populated area of Sitio Ambulong, Barangay Manok-Manok, Boracay Island. Authorities said the fire started at around 9 in the morning. Around 50 houses were razed by the blaze, leaving 52 families homeless. Malay Bureau of Fire Protection said the worth of damages to properties reached an initial amount of 1 million pesos. Homeless families are temporarily being sheltered at the barangay gym with assistance from the government. No injuries were reported in the incident. Fire out was declared at 9 this morning after authorities stopped the fire that broke out in Robinson's Place Mall, Marasbaras, Tacloban City, Wednesday evening. The Bureau of Fire Protection, or BFP, says the fire reached a fourth alarm or task force alpha, so they needed to ask assistance from neighboring municipalities or more than 30 responding trucks. Based on the BFP's initial investigation, the fire started on the mall's ceiling, so authorities found it hard to extinguish. The fire reached the mall's annex building. Authorities reported no casualty in the incident. The mall is temporarily closed for assessment of the entire amount of damages.
Yung origin po ng sunog, under investigation pa rin po siya. So hindi po namin maibigay sa inyo talaga kung saan talaga siya nagmula. Kasi gusto po ng BFP na maging accurate po yung maging resulta ng investigation po.
A lawmaker calls on the National Bureau of Investigation to provide protection to Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong and PIDEA Chief Aaron Aquino. The Solon also appeals to police personnel to come forward and reveal their knowledge about the ninja cops and agaw reward issues. Vincent Arboleda will tell us why.
The National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, should provide protection to Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong and Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or PIDEA Director General Aaron Aquino, after receiving threats to their life. According to House Deputy Majority Floor Leader and Bagong Henerasyon Party List Representative Bernadette Herrera, this is in order to protect the whistleblowers of the Agaw Bato controversy, which involves Philippine National Police officials and personnel. Herrera says the NBI must also consider having them under the government's Witness Protection Program. In a statement, the Bagong Henerasyon representative compels other police officials to reveal their knowledge and evidence on anomalous operation involving the PNP. Herrera adds the NBI should also consider giving the same protection to members and officials of the PNP that will turn whistleblowers. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is expected to start its inquiry on the agaw reward issue once session resumes on November 4. Last October 10, Emmanuel Junevar, a witness in the slaying of former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Rodel Batocabe, surfaced. He revealed that the PNP gave him only 6 million pesos of the 35 million peso reward money. But according to the PNP, there is nothing missing in the 35 million peso reward money for the witnesses who helped solve the Batocabe slay case. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
The Philippine National Police have launched an investigation against policemen allegedly caught smuggling contraband into the New Bilibid prison. Leia Ilagan tells us why.
16 policemen are now undergoing pre-charge investigation for allegedly bringing cellular phones, cigarettes, and liquor placed inside iced tea bottles into the New Bilibid Prison, or NBP, in Muntinlupa City. Philippine National Police spokesperson, Police Brigadier General Bernard Banac says it is sad that police officers who are tasked to enforce the law are the ones who break it. If proved guilty, Banac says the 16 cops will face administrative cases.
Sa kasalukuyan na inimbestigahan ng National Capital Region Police Office sa panguna ni Police Brigadier General de Bolsinas ang pag-iimbestiga doon sa 16 na naakusahan na di umano ay nagtangka na magpuslit ng kontrabando sa Bilibid.
The National Capital Region Police Office, or NCRPO, refuses to disclose the identities of the accused cops as investigation is underway. The cops caught bringing contraband to the NBP are members of the NCRPO's Regional Mobile Force Company, which was tasked with demolishing kubols or makeshift private dwellings built inside the maximum security compound. The NCRPO has pulled out over 500 policemen from the NBP to undergo assessment. Only those who are trusted will be redeployed to the National Penitentiary.
Kung nakita naman na katiwa-tiwala ang mga pulis natin, ay maring sila pa rin ang ipapadala muli doon. So sa lukuyan, iriripaso lamang ang kanilang mga background, tinitingnan maigi kung karapat-dapat ba silang pagtiwalaan at yung hindi agad masisilaw sa anumang mga inihahain sa kanila ng mga bribe.
The PNP reminded men to obey the rules and regulations in NBP to avoid charges. 552 NCRPO cops have been deployed to the NBP since October 5 after Bureau of Corrections Director General Gerald Bantag sought help for security in the National Penitentiary after he relieved some Bucor employees because of corruption. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
The Philippine National Police are in favor of a total firecracker ban in the country should the president order it. The police also remind firecracker manufacturers and retailers of possible sanctions should they be found illegally selling firecrackers. Leia Ilagan reports why.
The Philippine National Police will follow the President's mandate on the use of firecrackers. Last year, President Duterte released Executive Order Number 28 that regulates the use of firecrackers only in designated firecracker zone. The police will conduct rigid inspection and confiscation of illegal firecrackers in local marketplaces.
Nagkaroon ng significant decrease of fireworks-related injuries nitong 2018. Tinaasahan natin na ngayong holiday season, ngayong Kapaskuhan at ngayong bagong taon ay lalo pang bumaba ang bilang na ito.
If the President declares a total firecracker ban, the PNP will readily implement it. They will enforce the closure of establishments of firecracker manufacturers, merchandisers and retailers nationwide if they refuse to stop their operations.
Kung sakali man na magkaroon ng total firecrackers ban nationwide, ang lahat po ng mga suppliers, manufacturers of firecrackers ay kinakailangan tumigil sa kanilang pagnenegosyo. At ang mga ito ay manatili lamang sa kanilang inventory at warehouse.
The PNP will also propose to local governments to designate a firecracker zone in every barangay. Only barangay officials will purchase firecrackers and use them for the entertainment and celebration of the whole barangay.
Wala nang dapat na masaktan at o mamatay. No, sa mga nagdaang panahon ay may mga namatay talaga na naging biktima ng fireworks. At ang masakit diyan ay yung sunog na maaaring idulot nitong mga fireworks na ito.
As early as now, the PNP remind firecracker manufacturers and retailers.
Magsasagawa muli ang Philippine National Police ng Oplan Galugad para sa mga firecrackers na illegal na binibenta sa mga bangketa at mga tindahan na walang mga permiso. At mga ito ay subject for confiscation at maaaring makasuhan din ang mga nagbebenta nito ng walang permiso at maaari ding maipasara ang kanilang mga tindahan bilang paglabag sa mga umiiral na batas.
The PNP clarified they are in favor of a total ban of firecrackers and not of pyrotechnics. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
Filipinos are known for the virtue of having close family ties, but sibling rivalry cannot be avoided sometimes when a small fight becomes larger. Find out what a psychologist says about sibling rivalry and how to prevent it. Isco Miguel reports why.
People here and there are talking about the Barreto sisters' feud. The actresses continue their arguments not only on television shows but also on social media. According to a psychologist, this kind of conflict results from simple misunderstanding that turns to anger and hatred. According to Dr. Camille Garcia, it's inappropriate to between siblings to have rivalry rooting from problems within a family.
Hoy Rodrigo, bakit ikaw lang binilhan nila mama ng gadget?
Wala akong kinalaman dyan. Siyempre, akong bunso dito. Ako ang binibilhan.
Paborito ka talaga nila eh.
One factor Dr. Camille says is the way parents raise their siblings. She adds this can be avoided when a family problem is fixed right away. Children should also be given enough attention. When their children are experiencing a problem, parents should talk to them and hear their sides. This way, the children won't find other ways to get attention.
Magsusumbatan na lang kayo every now and then every now and then, makikita mo small and petty things pinag-aawayan or small or petty things nagkreate siya ng away kasi nasanay siya na wala eh. And it's one way na kung mang-aaway siya, that's the only time he or she gets an attention.
Based on cases handled by Dr. Camille, feud between boys or men are more difficult to handle. It's harder for the male gender to revive their harmonious relationship. Dr. Camille says the tendency for men is that they are more violent and have more pride. The doctor advises that one should just divert what they feel in good and significant ways.
Pero yung nakakarindi na you listen every day na awa. Hindi naman po pwedeng araw-araw takpan ng tenga. So, the best way is to escape. And sometimes, ang ganda ng pagkakataon na to retaliate is magtrabaho or to retaliate is gagawa ng paraan na hindi ako magiging katulad nila.
Dr. Camille adds, adults or the parents must play their part in fixing a fight between siblings.
Sana, pag may mga gantong klaseng feud, yung mga elderlies, so meaning to say, mismong magulang, lolo, lola, hindi kinukonsente yung away na to. Hindi sila yung kumakampi. At higit sa lahat, sila ang mag-aayos nito.
Forgive and forget, move on and start over.
Uy, te, sorry na. Dali na, magbati na tayo. Maggalit pa lalo sa atin si mami.
Sige.
Sabi mo yan,
A family should also put in mind they should always be guided by the words of God to live peacefully and full of love. Isco Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Cebuanos are elated to see OPM artist Moira de la Torre up on stage and meet her in person. They are bracing for her concert to be held tomorrow evening. Meanwhile, the three winners of the Sing Like Moira contest thank Wish 1075 for the chance to show their Sing Like Moira talents. On the line, Gladys Tuwabi will tell us why live. Yes, Gladys?
Yes, good evening, Alex. Fast-rising OPM singer-songwriter Moira de la Torre arrived this afternoon ready to entertain her Cebuano fans for her Braver Moira concert tomorrow, October 25. A press conference for Moira's concert is ongoing. It began just minutes ago here at the House of Lechon, Donna sa Avila, Cebu City. According to the singer-composer, she is happy and excited to finally meet her Cebuano fans and share her music. Among the things her fans must watch out for are the inspiring stories she has to tell when she goes on stage. But Moira says she's a bit sad that this is the last leg of her concert series this year. Yesterday, Alex, the winners in the Sing Like Moira contest were revealed, and they are looking forward to meeting their favorite singer. Let's listen to what they said in an interview.
Sila dua ni Jason na mag-duet because I'm very much inspired with their love life and how they are very much kanang spiritually strong bitaw as a couple, yes.
Maybe just how she performs live. That's what I want to see. Experience the concert as a whole. So, iyang singing, iyang performance, iyang stage presence, and about everything that she is good. Not just her voice, the way she writes, even her life. I just want to see her in person and hopefully to talk to her.
Alex, the three lucky and talented winners in the Sing Like Moira contest won cash prizes and free Braver Moira concert tickets. They thanked Wish 1075 for granting their wish to meet Moira in person and for supporting aspiring singers like them. To all Moira fans here in Cebu, the Braver Moira concert will be held at the Pacific Grand Ballroom Waterfront Hotel, Cebu City, tomorrow 8 p.m. So for those who have no tickets yet, you still have time to buy them online. Go watch the concert with your friends or loved ones. Tickets are available at www.smtickets.com or www.platinumlist.net. And that's the latest live here in Cebu. Alex?
Thank you, Gladys Doabi, reporting live from Cebu City. Welcome back to Wine News. Businesses affected by the resumption of water service interruptions try several water-saving tips to avoid business loss. Joa Nano tells us why.
Water service interruptions in several areas began today due to the continuous drop of water level in Angat Dam. Apart from the preparations of some households, business owners of laundry shops, car washes and water stations try various water-saving techniques in order to avoid income loss. According to Nida Dagdan, who manages a laundry shop, they have to adjust their operating hours when the water they stored is not enough to serve their customers amid the resumption of water supply interruptions. She says the water interruption has a negative impact on their daily income.
Mag-a-adjust po kami ng open. Depende po sa schedule ng tubig. Halimbawa, nung nakaraan, ang tubig bumalik siya alas 3 na ng hapon, tapos off kami sa umaga. Tapos babalik kami, mag-open kami alas 3 na o alas 2 ng open namin.
Car wash owner Reggie Echano prepared their empty gallons to catch possible rainfall in order to augment further business operations.
Nagsasahod kami sa ulan para doon sa mga lower na parts ng sasakyan, doon namin ginagamit para makatipid kami ng tubig.
This water refilling station filled their 2 water tanks to sustain their delivery of purified water to their customers despite the water supply interruption.
Pinupuno na po namin ang tangke para pag walang tubig, may handa kami may pangbigay sa customer.
The National Water Resources Board or NWRB advises the public not to hoard water but instead store water just enough for consumption at times when there is no supply. This is to avoid possible shortage in the reservoirs of Maynilad and Manila water, which might lengthen the hours of water service interruptions. Joa Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Manila City Mayor Isco Moreno celebrates his birthday today. But amid his celebration, he was quite busy with several activities in the city. Bernard Daddies details why.
Today marks the 45th birthday of Manila City Mayor Isco Moreno Dumagoso as he celebrates his first birthday as the mayor of the nation's capital. The Manila City government donated 16 new dialysis machines and 4 new service vehicles to Gat Andres Bonifacio Memorial Hospital Dialysis Center, which was built through former Manila Mayor Alfredo Lim. It will now be called Flora Villaroman Sioho Dialysis Center, after Lim's grandmother, Mrs. Flora V. Villaroman Sioho. With the new additions, the dialysis center is now the largest in the country, with 91 dialysis machines, according to the Manila Public Information Office. Now the center can serve about 200 patients a day for free, while the new vehicles will be used to transport poor patients free of charge.
Hindi ko mo nawawala na yung ibang leader. Natapos na yung termino nila. Para na lang silang ulap na nagdaan. Hindi po. Sa maliit naming kaparaanan. We will give when credit is due.
The mayor next stop, the ribbon cutting at the TB Dot Center, Blood Bank and Hemodialysis Center in Ospital ng Maynila. These hemodialysis centers stopped its operation 5 years ago because of outdated machines. It reopened today with 6 new dialysis machines from the Department of Health under Dumagoso's administration. The blood bank building is newly built, while the TB Dot Center, which will serve Manila residents without expecting any payment in return, is newly renovated. The vaccine room and TB Dot Center was also opened at the Manila Health Department motor pool area in Barangay Santa Cruz. Meanwhile, Mayor Isco has this call to the city's doctors and nurses.
Sa mga nurse, mga doctors, pangiti-ngiti pag may time. Basta kayo, binibigyan ko na kayo ng tip, ng point of view ng isang mahirap na pasyente. If we see your teeth smiling towards us, kahit wala akong paracetamol, kahit wala akong amoxicillin, yakapsul lang sa kakispirinyo, todas na kami. No? Okay na kami.
And since the mayor's wish for his birth is for his constituents to clean their house and surroundings, a citywide cleanup drive was conducted by Manila residents. Mayor Isco also calls on his constituents to always follow the law. Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Maynila.
Mental health experts brace for eco-anxiety. Although the American Psychiatric Association does not classify climate anxiety as a mental disorder, mental health experts are taking it seriously. Beverly Saison reports.
Rising sea levels, warmer temperatures, and catastrophic natural disasters spawned by climate change are giving rise to a mental health issue called eco-anxiety. A 2018 report called Climate Change in the American Mind states that in the United States, the number of Americans who are worried about climate change has tripled since 2011. 16-year-old environmental activist Greta Thunberg has admitted feeling depressed about climate change at the age of 11.
I first found out about this issue when I was maybe 7, 8 or 9 years old, and then I realized that, oh, this is actually very bad, and I started to read about it more and more, and when I became maybe 11, I became depressed, and the climate crisis was a huge cause of that, and because I just felt that everything is hopeless and there's nothing we can do and no one is doing anything.
Thunberg added that in order to fight depression, she promised herself to do everything she can to change things. Fellow environmental activist and 14-year-old Alexandra Villaseñor said joining climate strikes every Friday was her way of dealing with climate anxiety and eco-grief.
And so when I started striking every Friday, it really made me feel so much better because since I am only 14, I can't vote. And so striking is one of the best ways for me to make my voice heard about the future I'm being given.
Although the American Psychiatric Association does not classify climate anxiety as a mental disorder, mental health experts are taking it seriously.
It's a huge problem. It's not like having a fear of going over bridges where you can just avoid going over the bridges. And it's not like we can pretend that it's only going to affect other people. It's affecting people everywhere in some way or another. So those kind of global problems are harder to feel effective in solving. And it's much easier to feel insignificant and to feel like we're just a drop in the bucket. And our contribution is not going to make a difference or matter.
Experts also warn the eco-anxiety can turn into some kind of anger and frustration brought about by the issue that the problem is not being addressed adequately. Meanwhile, medical professionals are working to increase awareness about eco-anxiety and develop treatments. Beverly Saison, UNTV News and Rescue.
And for the news abroad, British police found the bodies of 39 people inside the truck believed to have come from Bulgaria and said they had arrested the driver on suspicion of murder. Jovic Burmas has this report.
Police are continuing to question a man over the discovery of 39 bodies in a refrigerated lorry trailer in Essex. The lorry driver, named locally as Mo Robinson, 25, from Portadown County, Armagh, was arrested on suspicion of murder on Wednesday. It came after the bodies of 39 people had been found in a container which had arrived in Purfleet on the River Thames from Zeebrugge, Belgium. The truck was thought to have entered Britain at Holyhead, a North Wales port that is a major entry point for traffic from Ireland, on Saturday, and to have originally started its journey in Bulgaria. Essex Police Deputy Chief Constable Pippa Mule said that the trailer which still contained the bodies would be taken to a location.
The lorry and the trailer will be moved to a secure location at Tilbury Docks so the bodies can be recovered whilst preserving the dignity of the victims. We're yet to identify them and must manage this sensitively with their families.
The discovery of 39 dead bodies found in a container bears resemblance to August 2015, when 71 migrants were found dead in a refrigerator truck parked on the A4 motorway in Austria near the Hungarian border. At a trial which followed, prosecutors at the time said a gang made at least 31 trips across the Hungary-Austria border between February and August 2015. They identified the gang leader as a 30-year-old Afghan man who paid for the operation and organized the transports. A 31-year-old Bulgarian was the head of the human smuggling ring and its 2 Bulgarian drivers. Britain's Prime Minister Boris Johnson described the discovery as an unimaginable tragedy, while Irish police said they were monitoring the developing investigation and will provide every assistance possible. Jovic Burmas, UNTV News and Rescue, London, United Kingdom.
Republican lawmakers disrupted the U.S. House of Representatives impeachment inquiry Wednesday by storming into a high-security hearing room and delaying testimony by a key Pentagon witness. Mirasola Bugadil reports why.
More than 24 Republican lawmakers who were not authorized to attend the hearing surged into the room where Laura Cooper, the U.S. defense official who oversees Ukraine and Russia matters, was due to testify behind closed doors before Republican and Democratic lawmakers. The protesting Republicans began yelling complaints that the Democrats in charge of running the inquiry were conducting the process in private, lawmakers and aides said. After a delay of around 4 hours, Cooper began her testimony. The Republican lawmakers caused a standoff with the 3 Democratic-led House committees leading the inquiry before finally leaving the room. The impeachment probe focuses on Trump's request for Ukraine to investigate a domestic rival, Democrat Joe Biden, for his personal political benefit. By having Republican lawmakers barge into the hearing room, Trump's allies sought to put the focus on what they portray as unfair Democratic tactics rather than on the president's conduct. Trump on Monday told reporters that Republicans have to get tougher and fight the impeachment.
You know, they're vicious and they stick together.
Republicans who are members of the 3 committees have taken part in the process throughout. The inquiry could lead to the House passing formal charges known as articles of impeachment, prompting a trial in the Republican-controlled Senate on whether to remove Trump from office. Democratic lawmakers hope to complete the impeachment inquiry by year's end and are coalescing around 2 articles of impeachment: abuse of power and obstruction. The impeachment inquiry, triggered by a whistleblower complaint against Trump by a person within the U.S. intelligence community, focuses on a July 25 telephone call in which Trump asked Zelensky to carry out those 2 investigations. Zelensky agreed during the call. The aid was later provided. Mirasol Abugadil, UNTV News and Rescue.
President Evo Morales claimed victory in Bolivia's disputed election and accused the opposition, which is demanding a runoff, of burning electoral offices, fomenting chaos, and trying to overthrow his government. Ferdy Pitalio details why.
Protesters poured on the streets on Wednesday in Bolivia's capital La Paz as anger continues to mount over election results. Bolivian leader Evo Morales again claiming victory in the country's fraught presidential election, accused the opposition on Wednesday of trying to orchestrate a coup after anti-government protests that charged the vote counting was rigged. The latest official vote count showed Morales with 46.49%, with nearly 97% of the ballot processed, 9.5 points ahead of main rival Carlos Mesa, but still just short of 10-point lead necessary to win outright and avoid a riskier second-round runoff. Protesters, angry at what they saw as an attempt by leftist President Morales to rig the vote, had protested en masse in capital city La Paz, outside where the Electoral Board was processing the last remaining ballots. In a fiery early morning speech at the government office in La Paz, Morales criticized the violence, which he blamed on the opposition and what he said was foreign backers. Unrest in the country began after an official vote count was disrupted by a near 24-hour halt late on Sunday, when Morales claimed his party would win outright despite initial numbers showing the two main rivals heading to a second round. The official election monitor and a number of foreign governments voiced concern about the integrity of the vote. The uncertainty over the election has rocked the landlocked nation, which has gone through almost 14 years of relative stability and growth since Morales came to power in 2006 as the country's first indigenous leader. Ferdy Petalio, UNTV News and Rescue.
Google said it had achieved a breakthrough in computer research by solving a complex problem in minutes with a so-called quantum computer that would take today's most powerful supercomputer thousands of years to crack. Nina Armilio has the details.
Google says an advanced computer has achieved quantum supremacy for the first time, surpassing the performance of conventional devices. The technology giant Sycamore quantum processor was able to perform a specific task in 200 seconds that would take the world's best supercomputers 10,000 years to complete. Scientists have been working on quantum computers for decades because they promise much faster speeds. The result appears in Nature journal. In classical computers, the unit of information is called a bit and can have a value of either 1 or 0, but its equivalent in quantum system, the qubit or quantum bit, can be both 1 and 0 at the same time. This phenomenon opens the door for multiple calculations to be performed simultaneously, but the qubits need to be synchronized using a quantum effect known as entanglement, which Albert Einstein termed spooky action at a distance. However, scientists have struggled to build working devices with enough qubits to make them competitive with conventional types of computer.
For many years, practical quantum computing was only theoretically possible. Google's team has proven it can work. This is the hello world moment for quantum computing that many of us have been waiting for.
Sycamore contains 54 qubits, although one of them did not work, so the device ran on 53 qubits. Researchers at IBM, Google's main quantum computing rival, said a supercomputer with additional disk storage can solve the random number problem in at most 2 to 1/2 days with greater fidelity or accuracy. They also said Google risked misleading the public by implying the new style computers would replace existing ones. Nina Armilio, UNTV News and Rescue.
Online travel, online marketplace, Airbnb reveals the top trending travel destination for next year. Find out these places which you can add to your travel goals. Monokson reports.
Got plans on taking a trip next year? Still thinking of where to go somewhere abroad? Don't worry, Airbnb has revealed the top destinations for 2020. The list is based on the number of bookings received by Airbnb for the year 2020. First on the trending list is Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the Democratic National Convention is scheduled to take place next year. Milwaukee is famous for terrific bar and restos and many cultural destinations. Second on the list is Bilbao, Spain. This city won the European City of the Year award in 2018. Third is Buriram in Thailand. Many historical sites can be found here. Buriram frequently hosts sporting events aside from being an Instagrammable place. Fourth is Sunbury, Victoria in Australia. The high booking rate in this city is due to many sporting events scheduled here. Fifth is Romania in the continent of Europe. Airbnb says there are many pristine hills and ancient rural villages, the perfect destination for anyone looking for something off the beaten track. 6th on the trending list is Xi'an, China. This is the birthplace of the Chinese civilization and is called China's Outdoor Museum. The government plans to organize nighttime tour routes in the city. 7th on the list is Eugene, Oregon in the United States. Known as the culinary hub, this city surrounded by mountains is home to organic foods and famous travel destinations. On the 8th spot is Luxembourg, hailed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1994. Charming medieval castles and hilltop villages can be found here. The 9th place goes to Guadalajara in Mexico, famous for its impressive architecture, lively festivals, and cultural museums. And 10th on the trending list is Vanuatu, a South Pacific Ocean nation. For all thrill seekers, you won't run out of adventures here, from volcano hiking to scuba diving. Though the Philippines is not on Airbnb's list, we can be proud of pristine dive sites, beautiful mountain spots, and lovely beaches, like Palawan, which is famous for its beautiful white sand beaches, and is second in the world according to travel website Best 7 Travels. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news this October 24, 2019. On behalf of Angelo Castro III, I'm Alex Baltazar. And before we close, we will recap with today's significant soundbites because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.
Kami hindi naman totally namin masyadong tinataasan. So kung may tatawad naman po, nagbibigay naman din po kami. Pero as much as possible, di ba po, para makabawi lang kami sa lugi namin.
Why is this still happening? The president has already made very serious threats to drug syndicates, to drug lords, to drug users, and yet it's still very prevalent. So obviously it's not working.
1 week po ang gustong pahinga ng ating mahal na Pangulo para naman po gumaling yung sakit na nararamdaman niya sa likod niya po dahil sa pagkadisgrasya sa motor.
Saan po siya magpapahinga, sir? Magbabakasyon ba?
Davao lang po, sa bahay niya, sa maliit na bahay niya. Mas nakakapahinga po siya doon, mas nakakatulog po siya doon.
Kasalukuyan na inimbestigahan na ng National Capital Regional Police Office sa panguna ni Police Brigadier General de Borsinas ang pag-iimbestiga doon sa 16 na naakusahan na di umano ay nagtangka na magpuslit ng kontrabando sa bilibid